Hey, I'm Malika Andrews. So far, 5 of the 30 NBA teams, they've held their media days. And this morning, it was the Philadelphia 76ers' turn. So Philly, it may be the team with the most question marks, at least I think, heading into this season. Last year at this time, they had the second best odds to win the East, right behind the Boston Celtics. But things, of course, came crashing down, unfortunately, quickly here. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Jared McCain, they combined to miss 188 games last season. Remember, both Embiid and McCain, they dealt with those knee injuries. Paul George, he had a wide variety of injuries, but the latest was an adductor issue. And then Tyrese Maxey, he missed most of March with that back injury. This morning, we heard from Joel Embiid for the first time since his April knee surgery. Take a listen.
Feel pretty good. I think we've made a lot of progress over the last couple months. We got a plan in place, trying to check all the boxes. So everybody that knows me knows that I want to play. I've been pretty unlucky when it comes to that. Compared to, most NBA players. I think I'm past the stage of focusing on ceilings. I think, going forward, we're just going to listen to the body. And, I'll be honest and say that, he's going to be unpredictable at times, and that's okay.
All right, Tim Bontemps covers the 76ers for ESPN. Our senior insider, Shams Charania, our analyst, Monica McNutt. Let's break this all down. Shams, I'm going to start with you here, because what I didn't hear in between what Joel Embiid said was when we're actually going to see him on the floor. What are the 76ers' expectations here?
Malika, my understanding is even the Philadelphia 76ers don't know exactly when Joel Embiid is going to play, when he's not going to be playing. Remember, last season, there were moments where there was built-up frustration that was occurring in the locker room around that coaching staff about Joel Embiid, his availability, when he was playing. No one literally knew, and it created confusion around that organization. The reality is his knee issues have been debilitating, and he's essentially going to have to master learning how to play through issues, pain thresholds any given day, and a lot of it, like he said, the unknown of the reality that he will be feeling different ways after a day of workouts, and one day of workout might be different than another day, and that might lead him to potentially miss time.
Yeah.
And they just don't know quite yet. They have their first day of training camp practice tomorrow. Let's see how much, if at all, Joel Embiid participates.
Monica, I don't want to be the home of all things bummer to start the show, but I don't love the sound of that.
No, and immediately my thought after that statement, Shams, is okay, regular season is one thing. The cadence of a postseason potentially is an entirely different beast, even if this team is to get to that point. I know that's a big leap, but yeah, you would take whatever you can get because we know how dominant Joel Embiid can be when he is healthy, but you can't skirt the nature of an actual postseason format and the turnaround there.
Well, forget the postseason. Let's just go back to what Joel said there, right? That he's uncertain about how he's going to feel from day to day, and that he and the team are okay with that, and they're going to have to live with that. And to Shams's point, that's been the problem for the Sixers now for going on a decade, right? Like Joel Embiid has, for as incredible a talent as he is, he's obviously missed a ton of time with injuries, and it makes it very hard to plan as an organization, to know what your team is going to do. And that is what they're going to be clearly dealing with throughout this season. I mean, you can see it right here in this graph. Like, it's just crazy the amount of time one of the best players on the planet has had to miss with injury. It just makes it very difficult to plan, makes it very difficult to know day to day what the season is going to look like. And that's why last year he was barely on the court. And I think everyone involved is hoping for a different story this year. But, we didn't hear today when he's going to be back on the court, and that's the biggest thing everyone wants to know.
And I think as fans of Joel Embiid, after an off season, right, you sit around and think, okay, well, what was happening over the last couple of months? Because we haven't heard from Joel since he had that surgery in April. So what was happening behind the scenes? What have folks told you about this summer?
Well, if you look at how Joel has looked in these videos that have come out, and you look at sort of the way he looked today, media day, he definitely looks slimmed down, right? And something we talked about before last season was he wants to try to emulate Tim Duncan in the latter half of his career, a guy who, as he got older, he slimmed down, put less wear and tear on his joints, on his knees, on his feet, to be able to try to stay out on the court and be as healthy as possible. But I think, as you heard in that clip too, like, this is now going on the better part of 15 months where Embiid and the Sixers have been trying to figure out how to get him on the court consistently with these ongoing knee issues. And I think if you're a Philly fan, the concerning thing about today, while it's good to hear Joel say he's doing some things on the court, there's
LeBron James and the Lakers may be headed for a standoff. According to league insiders, James pushed for a short 1+1 extension this summer, but the Lakers refused to offer it, leaving the 40-year-old superstar frustrated as he enters his 23rd season. He obviously wanted an extension, and it's also clear that the Lakers wouldn't give it to him, one NBA source told Bleacher Report. That's what he was reacting to. LeBron has 1 year left on his deal, which means he'll become an unrestricted free agent next summer. For now, the consensus is that James wants to stay in Los Angeles, but the Lakers are ready for a potential split, and they'll have a big decision to make in July 2026. LeBron James stayed out of Lakers operations this summer. LeBron James stayed out of Lakers operations this summer. Read more. It didn't even seem like there were negotiations, said one NBA executive. By not offering him an extension, the Lakers put LeBron in a bind. For most of his career, LeBron has never had trouble getting contract offers, but things have changed in this stint with the Lakers. Going into his 8th season with the franchise, his role is vastly different than what it once was, and so is his value. With averages of 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game last season, LeBron's stats are elite but not quite enough to give him priority over Luka Dončić. That trade in February reshifted the Lakers' focus, making James more of a sidekick for the first time in his career. Of course, it has also obscured his basketball future. At 40 years old, LeBron's NBA lifespan was already on the fringe, but the uncertainty of what lies ahead only gives him another reason to call it quits next summer. For the Lakers, this upcoming season will determine what comes next with LeBron. If he plays up to his standards and makes notable contributions on the court, it may be enough for Rob Pelinka to re-sign him to another short-term deal. If not, the Lakers will move on and use James' salary to pursue other stars. With plenty of tradable assets and a new star to build around, LA is in the win-now business, and they won't let anyone get in the way of that, not even LeBron. From James' perspective, this treatment has left him feeling frustrated with the Lakers, creating a real and noticeable divide within the franchise. Now, after 22 years in the NBA, LeBron faces the prospect of leaving the Lakers and joining a new team for the first time in 7 years. Regardless of how it plays out, LeBron is going to give it his all in 2025-26, with hopes of returning to contention and buying himself more time to play in Los Angeles. As it stands, he'd prefer to stay than to leave the Lakers, but he may not have full control over what happens next. LeBron James has built his career on controlling his own destiny, but for the first time in decades, that control is slipping. The Lakers are preparing for life beyond him, and James is fighting to prove he still belongs at the center of it all. Whether he stays in Los Angeles or ends up writing one final chapter elsewhere, this season could be the one that defines how his legendary career ends. Lakers GM Rob Pelinka leaves door open for LeBron James to retire as a Laker. Read more. Thank you for being a valued reader of Fadeaway World. If you like this article, please consider following us on Google News. We appreciate your support. By Nico Martinez. Nico Martinez is a seasoned staff writer at Fadeaway World, specializing in basketball journalism since 2016. Based in Columbia, South Carolina, Nico graduated with a degree in sports management from Columbia International University, grounding his reporting in an understanding of sports media and management. His insightful coverage positions him as a trusted voice in sports journalism. Nico's work has not only enhanced Fadeaway World's content but has also been recognized in major outlets like Sports Illustrated. Follow the real_NAM2 Comments newsletter. Stay up to date with our newsletter on the latest news, trends, ranking lists, and evergreen articles. Newsletter YU Mayake Miami Heat trade rumors. 3 trade ideas for Miami Heat include Pacers star, Eurostar, former champion by Eddie Biddersep 28, 2025 Houston Rockets news and analysis. LeBron James friend leaks DMS from Kevin Durant amid tense exchange by Gordon Varysep 28, 2025 Boston Celtics news and analysis. Jason Tatum makes surprising claim about his body during rehab, as strong as it's ever been by Gordon Varysep 28, 2025 Dallas Mavericks news and analysis. D'Angelo Russell on playing with Klay Thompson, That's your asterisk tease like 2K to me by Nico Martinez Ep 28. 2025 NBA News and Analysis Allen Iverson says Kyrie Irving has the best handles ever, but Shaquille O'Neal disagrees by Nico Martinez Ep 28. 2025 New Orleans Pelicans News and Analysis H*S, partying, fame, money, Gilbert Arenas on why Zion Williamson struggled with weight by Gordon Varys Ep 28. 2025 Los Angeles Lakers News and Analysis Luka Dončić hilariously claims to be a mix of Tom Brady and Lamar Jackson by Gordon Varys Ep 27. 2025 Los Angeles Clippers News and Analysis Chris Paul reflects on Lob City Clippers. I Miss It by Nico Martinez Ep 27. 2025 Los Angeles Lakers News and Analysis Rob Pelinka praises Mark Walter as incredible visionary amid Lakers ownership. Shift by Nico Martinez Ep 27. 2025 Houston Rockets News and Analysis Rockets will follow new game plan after Fred VanVleet injury by Nico Martinez Ep 27. 2025 Boston Celtics News and Analysis Celtics Jason Tatum details next steps in return from Achilles tear by Nico Martinez Ep 27. 2025 Los Angeles Clippers News and Analysis. Too much fire, not just smoke. Agents blast Kawhi Leonard's controversial deal by Nico Martinez Ep 27. 2025 Los Angeles Lakers News and Analysis Lakers GM Rob Pelinka gives cryptic answer. When asked about giving LeBron James a new deal in 2026 by Gordon Varys Ep 27. 2025 Philadelphia 76ers News and Analysis Sixers still have no clue when Joel Embiid will play by Vishwesha Kumar Ep 27. 2025 Miami Heat News and Analysis Dwayne Wade shares Bam Adebayo's hilarious take on competing with AJA Wilson's trophies by Vishwesha Kumar Ep 27. 2025 NBA News and Media Scottie Pippen believes new blood is needed to save the All-Star game.